Okay, so we are at the end of the 6-week challenge with Jim. He just completed it, and we want to shoot a short video case study with him just telling us a couple of words about his experience on the program. So Jim, can you tell us a little bit about where were you with your health before you started the program, and why did you join the 6 week?
As a teacher, I have to go up several flights of stairs a day, up and down, and I was huffing and puffing. I weighed 244 on a frame that used to carry about 190, and I was really struggling. I was getting to a point of being pre-diabetic. I had gone from a size 36 pant to a size 42 pant. I had just seen a very quick and rapid decline in my health. And I decided when the opportunity came to try out 6 weeks with Higher Level Fitness that it was a challenge that I was ready to at least try and face.
That's right. Okay, that's awesome. Now, we completed the 6-week challenge, and welcome to the 12-month program, because he continues after the 6 week. But on the 6-week program, can you tell us with some details what kind of progress have you seen, and what kind of benefits have you experienced in the short amount of time of 6 weeks?
Well, it seems like every week I've come back with some kind of overwhelming success. Mm-hmm. The first week I came, I was really feeling like I was struggling to get through the workout, and quickly discovered that that was just the warm-up. By the third week, I was getting through the warm-up and getting through the workout. But in the time being, I started to eat better. I felt like I wasn't nearly as tired throughout the day. I started tightening my belt, and I was able to move more efficiently with more solid posture. I could feel myself standing more erect rather than bending over like a 60-year-old man.
Awesome.
And I really felt every week a lot of growth. Most recently, my doctor cut some of my medicines in half, which is extraordinary. Yeah.
Awesome.
And my belt is now down to its last hole, so I have to get a nail out or go buy a new belt.
Sorry, we're more expense for you.
Yeah, that's all right. So I'm going to continue on, because I know that what I have done so far I can attribute to your guidance and the strength of the program. And interestingly, looking at all of the men that I've worked with, we're all built differently. We all have different health needs, and you guys address those individual needs and accommodate our individual need. And I've been able to really strengthen a very weak back, to achieve success with exercises that I could barely even start to do the first week I was here.
That's amazing. Also, if you can give us some details as far as some stats. Do you remember how many % of body fat you've lost, and how many pounds you've lost in the 6 weeks?
I can't be real sure about the body fat. I believe it's somewhere around 8 to 10% body fat. But I went from 244 pounds down to 217 pounds, which is in 6 weeks for me extraordinary. By the third week, my students were saying, "Mr. Kramer, did you do something different?" And by the fourth week, they said, you're losing a lot of weight. And my doctor was hysterical when I went in. "How have you done this? Are they feeding you some weird supplement?" "No, this is what they're doing." She said, "Give me their card. I need to hand it out to some of my patients that are like you, Joe." I've found that you guys don't just train us to be stronger, you train us to be healthier. You train us to live a different kind of lifestyle. And it was a lifestyle change I needed to make about 15 years ago. And I am so grateful for that opportunity.
Well, we're grateful to meet you as well, because you're a wonderful person with, all the kind words. I don't know, like you're a teacher, your words that come out of your mouth are so phenomenal. So I just love it, and that fuels us even more to do what we do. But also, as far as the nutrition, sometimes people are used to eating less. But your particular situation is, you come up to me on the weekly. So in the program we have 3 components. It is strength training, it's the nutrition, it's the accountability session. So I was asking you, how are you doing with nutrition? You're telling me, well, it's too much food. I cannot eat, there's so much food. And it's funny because we hear that very, very often. People dramatically undereat, and they reduce their metabolism by undereat all the time, and then they get used to that, and then it becomes very hard for them. If we give them enough foods they need, it becomes, whoa, that's too much food. Because, of course, because the body got out of habit to eat the right amount, and now it got used to eat the little less food, and that's why actually your metabolism slowed down, and some weight started piling back on. And we wanted to speed up the metabolism by giving you the exact amount you need, but you felt like it was
way too
much food, and it's not. But the beauty is this: you feel like you're eating way too much food, but you're dropping weight.
And
Go figure.
And that is a testimony that I heard and I gave at school. With a large number of women, and they're always on one diet or another, and they would look over at my meal and they'd say, "Jim, how much have you lost?" And I'd say, 8 pounds, 12 pounds, 14 pounds, 17 pounds. And they'd look at me, and I'd be eating a whole chicken breast. I'd have a large bowl of salad. I'd have a baked potato in front of me. And they would be saying, "But how can you do that eating like this?"
So much, yes.
So it really is. It's pretty overwhelming to learn, but it was really simple to learn.
That's right.
And the food is the same kind of food I would probably eat otherwise, just minus the sugar and minus all of the salt and fats.
This is it. Also, you mentioned earlier, a couple weeks ago, about how you were because we gave you also the recipe book, the 42 recipe book. You say you were making some foods. Can you elaborate a little bit on this one?
Sure. I've made chili.
The way you said it sounded like so delicious, it's so easy to make, so I wanted to hear that.
Well, it is, and there are a lot of opportunities. I mean, you start with the foundation of the food, and you can use any kind of spice, because spices don't have any calories
That's right.
in them.
That's right.
So, if you take chicken and you slice it up, you can make chicken tacos. And instead of using a taco shell, you use several pieces of lettuce.
That's right.
I've made chicken that's roasted, and I've had chicken soup, which I've made out of very lean chicken. The whole idea, I think, is that we find foods that are really, they're the kinds of foods that feed us rather
Nutritious.
rather than, put the fat into our system. So, just last night, I made a 16 bean soup. Well, not last night, but yesterday afternoon. I made a 16 bean soup with really lean ham. And it's delicious. They say you should use prosciutto, which I think is supposed to have a lot of fat in it. But the beans are nutritious, the ham is nutritious. And I had that tonight, just a small bowl of soup, but a bowl of soup. And I had a nice big chicken breast that I had spiced. The other thing you've taught us is you can prepare all of these foods way ahead of time.
That's right.
So on Sunday, after we go shopping, I come home, I spend 3 hours, I cooked 8 chicken breasts, I cooked 2 kinds of potatoes, I cooked some different vegetables, Brussels sprouts and asparagus. And all those things I grab, I throw into my lunch bag, and I can go to school.
Unbelievable. That's exactly, we always recommend and coach people to plan and prepare in advance.
Right.
Because if you don't plan to prepare, if you fail to plan to fail type of thing, right?
And the extra bonus is my family now has access to that food. So
Unbelievable.
they are,
Unbelievable.
by default, also kind of part of my program, which is really neat.
Very, very, because they're part of the family, right?
Right, absolutely.
So
And
you
we
get
eat
to
together.
eat together, because when family eats together, they stay together.
That's right.
So you're saying even the foods and the nutrition program is doable.
Very much, and very simple. I thought it would be very overwhelming. I thought it would be complicated. But the outline you've given us is very simple. And the food, if you're wise and you're thoughtful about what you're selecting, is all natural food that we can go out and we can buy very
That's
easily.
right. That's
And it's cost-effective shopping.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned those things, because a lot of people say it's very expensive to eat, natural foods. Really, it's not. If you plan and prepare, if you know how to shop, if you make the foods at home often, you save some money in what's more beneficial than you being very healthy anyway, right?
That's
In the
right.
long run, that's much cheaper.
My colleagues and I,
Thanks.
we like to go out to eat on Fridays. That happens to be one of the days we tend to join together and just all go have an afternoon lunch together. I've gone to Portillo's. I've gone to Village Squire. I've gone to a local restaurant down by my house, and all three of them have been extraordinarily receptive to my request. So I don't want a bun with that chicken patty, but could you wrap it in some lettuce? Or can you put some salsa on that for me? And often they'll substitute whatever you ask, and they're happy to do it for you, as long as you're sharing. This is my diet. I'm pretty restricted. I'd like you to have this if you could. And they're really willing to do that. So it makes going out kind of fun because you're custom ordering your meal.
That's right. It's fun.
It is fun.
Another thing, we talked about the nutrition. It's doable because that's the hardest part for people, right? Nutrition.
I didn't find that, but yeah.
Well, yes, you're correct. But as far as the exercise and the movements, have you ever been in part of a program like this, strength training?
No. My wife and I, a year and a half ago, joined a gym, and we were members for about 10 months, and we went, and I would walk on the treadmill, and I'd try and lift some things, and I'd just do different stretches and try and follow a program. However, we had just died by the wayside. We weren't consistent. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I didn't know how I was doing it. And your focus is not on how much I can lift, how heavy of a weight I can pick up, but rather, do I have the proper form? And in developing the proper form, then whatever I'm doing is correcting my posture, it's correcting my musculature, and it's preparing me to get to a point where I'm really a whole lot better off.
Unbelievable.
And I'm already feeling that. So.
Yeah, that's great. So you've never done any type of weightlifting consistently in the past, but you found that the program is doable as well.
It is.
The weight training.
I was laughing. Sonny is one of our other trainers, and Sonny last night was getting ready to have us do a round of exercises, and I asked him to please put a little more weight on one of the sleds, because I was thinking of one of my other friends who often would ask that. And he put another 25 pounds on, and everybody was kind of grumbling. When I'm doing it, it's very tough because it's one of those challenges, but you guys have taught us that nothing is impossible. It's our attitude that's all about.
You're so good.
And our attitude pushes us to push ourselves. And if we can't push ourselves, then the whole thing is defeated. I know what I am doing, and without a doubt, after the first week, I realized what I was doing was making me a better and healthier person. That's right. And I've seen that consistently through my body shape, through the way I'm walking and carrying myself, walking up the stairs without huffing and puffing, running after some of my kids without huffing and puffing. And then I come here and I do my exercises, and I struggle through them sometimes. And I get really frustrated because I just can't quite do it the way I'm supposed to do it. But each time I'm that much closer, and each time I feel like I'm being corrected to the point where next time I'll be there. Next time I'm going to get it. And sure enough, after 6 weeks, there are some things I'm doing that first night I couldn't even start to do.
That's right. That's right. Now, there are many people that are watching from the outside. They're kind of peeking, and they're seeing what we're doing, and they see how we help others, but they're still hesitant. They're intimidated, and they're right. They feel they should be that way because there are many places that people are not as careful how they coach others. So, but they're not quite sure what to think about the program. So you being the insider on the inside out, looking at it, what would you recommend those people? What would you tell them about the program? You already have experienced that, and now actually you're joined the 12-month program because you love it. Why would you choose us instead of others? And what would you tell others about the program so they know more about it?
It's really easy. When I came here, I was a 55-year-old man, probably more like 60 or 65. I had seen my health declining. I'd seen myself falling into that pattern of bad choices in eating, bad choices in sleep, bad choices in just doing all sorts of things that weren't healthy for me. Higher level fitness is about a way of living. Higher level fitness is about a way of perceiving who you are. Higher level fitness addresses you where you're at, no matter who you are. We've got such a diversity of people that I work with, and each one of them are my friends. I mean, we are, we're almost like a family, the way we work together, and we encourage each other. And when we achieve something, it's really clear, and we celebrate those successes. I'm here because I know that it's an investment in my future. I'm paying for my son's college, but right now, by joining Higher Level Fitness, I'm paying for my next 35 years of being healthy.
That's powerful.
And, I could be paying for medicine. The doctor's taking me off of it. Now I'm paying for higher level fitness. And I'd much rather be spending my money being proactive than years down the road spending my money being reactive with medication and healthcare treatment. So this is the place for me.
That
And
was so deep. That was deep.
I'm thinking
my heart started beating a little faster because it is true.
It is true.
And that's how I look at it as well, but because I'm passionate about it, that's that I'm a coach, I've been doing it for a long time. And sometimes I see people, I even said once, I would pay for people to look at their health and taking care of themselves as an investment instead of an expense.
That's right.
And you get it completely. So just to wrap it up, so you did the 6 weeks. Approximately, how many pounds have you lost in 6 weeks? 18, 20, 20 something?
I'm almost, let's see, it was 244, so 26, 27 pounds.
26, 27 pounds, about 7-8% body fat. Who is counting now? We keep on getting better. 6 weeks, you continue for the 12 months, and also the inches. What were the inches? Did you measure yourself? Or
Well,
the
I
belts?
didn't. I didn't use my belt,
Yeah.
but I was, I had a size 44 belt, and I was using the last notch on it. And now I'm all the way at the other end. So
Well,
I'm back down to a size. I had a size 38 shorts on when it was really warm the other day.
Well, I want to thank you. I'm proud of you. I'm so glad to have, souls like you in our facility, because that makes our place in our community much more powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the next 12 months with you.
Thanks, Russell.
Thank you. See you guys later.